Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Jesus Jackson channel. Back at it again with yet another video. This time we're talking about Ex Machina. It is a science fiction thriller film released in 2014, directed, written by Alex Garland. Gosh, this movie, I watched it in theaters, I believe, a couple years ago at this point, in IMAX. I got to watch it for its 10th anniversary, so last year, for some reason. Gosh, it was a transcendental experience. Ex Machina quickly has become one of my top 10 films of all time, I would say. From its cinematography, from its story, how it deals with such complex, sophisticated philosophical themes on AI and consciousness and ethics and morality, even to a certain extent, emotion. Like, it just... Gosh, and it's so relevant, right, this film right now. But as the title of this video suggests, or maybe I'll change it, I don't know. But the whole point of this video is basically, I was thinking about the one scene in a movie where I cannot remove the music from it. Because, a lot of people will say, I'm assuming, a lot of film lovers, music is a very important aspect of film. However, it is not the most important aspect of a film. I'm assuming a lot of them would say, right? A lot of film lovers. The most important, the visuals, right? Like its story, right? Obviously, but like how you tell that story visually, right? And even then, we know plenty of films that look pretty, but its story is not as good. And here's the thing: is that there's different tiers, right? You know what I mean? You can have a great film that has a great story, but it's shot in a mediocre way. You're still probably going to enjoy the movie because the story is good. So I think at the end of the day, the story is kind of the main thing. Like if the movie's story, it's written well, is great, it can have no music. It can be mediocrely directed, and it'd be whatever. You know what I mean? Like we would still accept it. And obviously the bangers are the ones that get everything right. I think there's this one video of Christopher Nolan or something like saying like, he was being asked, like, is music the most important aspect of a film? Is the way it's shot? Yada, yada, like.
Is music the most important thing in a movie? No.
But yeah, he was, and he basically said music is not the most important aspect of a film, even though he manages to have fantastic films that knock it out of the park in every aspect, right? But I was thinking, what's one scene in a movie where I just cannot remove the music from it? Because if I remove the music, it actually doesn't it actually reduces the impact of the scene, because this is how important the music is to this scene. And I had to think of Ex Machina. Towards the very end of the movie, not the last scene of the movie, I mean, sort of the last scene, but not really. It's the third act of the film. The tension is high. Like I said, it's a thriller, if you've seen the movie. I mean, spoilers, this video is going to contain spoilers. I probably already messed it up for you, but you've had more than 10 years to watch this film. But this scene right here is incredible from a filmic standpoint, and obviously from a music composition standpoint. I cannot see those two things disbanding, with this scene, or else the scene is not as great. It just is. And I'm curious to see what you have to say after we watch the scene. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and give this video a like, because it helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Beautiful close-up shots right there. Love it. The treason, the betrayal.
Ava! Go back to your room!
If I do, are you ever gonna let me out?
Yes. Stop. Stop. Ava, I said stop.
What are you doing? Stop. Stop. That's enough. That's enough. I'm taking you back.
It never fails, dude. Oh, it's so good, dude.
Okay. Fucking unreal.
What the fuck? I didn't know there was comedy in this scene. I didn't realize that. That was funny. Oh man, I'm still speechless. This scene still leaves me speechless, in awe of the power of visual and sonic mediums. You know what I mean? Like, gosh, dude, it elicits from me like the same feelings and the same emotions. There's movies out there that, you know, and this is up to the director, you know, where like a director can choose whether to have a song in a film, you know, whether it's an original composition or, and you know, the director, it's not just up to the director. There's producers, executive producers, you know, the studio might even have input. You know, you can have an original, you know, piece of music for scenes for the film, or you can, you know, choose to have an actual real world song, I guess, from an artist or celebrity and put it on the movie, or you can have no music. You know, there's different ways you can go about it. And even when you do have music, some directors choose to have the music on the lower end, just kind of provide as a background to the film, you know, and it's almost like it's there, but like, it also depends on the greatness of the composition. Sometimes, even if the composition is very, very low and it's kind of subdued and it's still a great song or whatever, still an original piece, you will notice it. There's varying degrees, but I am really bothered when movies just don't have, you know, confident and very ever-present music in their films, like in scenes. Like it really bothers me when it doesn't happen, because music is like it's actually, I think, more important than film. It has more of a reach than film. I think music is much more universal than film. And so the fact that film does not there's many films that just don't, use music to the fullest advantage. Kind of bothers me. Now, a lot of great films do that, and a lot of great films don't. So just because you don't doesn't mean, it doesn't mean your movie sucks or whatever. But like, if we can have, the best of both worlds, why not, right? And so, like, for example, Tenet, that movie in many ways uses sound design and music in ways that bother people, right? I thought it was very audacious and very interesting. This movie right here, I think part of the reason, and this is where the genius comes in, is part of the reason this movie is so great too, is the fact that it's a thriller. And through the majority of the film, there is music, but it's kind of like very, very like, it's almost like the Joker's Dark Knight, theme. Like it's there, but it's just kind of like there to, create a rise in something. Like it's just kind of ambience in a way. There's really no melody, like really this is the part in the movie towards the very end where there is a melody, you know what I mean? And the music is just boom, here I am. You know what I mean? Like, and this is part of the reason why it's so impactful, is because it was intentionally taken away or subdued or not as present through the majority of the movie. And then in this scene right here, the most important scene in the goddamn movie, that's when the song is put in. And lo and behold, it is also one of the most amazing songs I have ever heard. Electronic music is incredible. It is so varied, right? It can create a lot of, emotion, whether it's depression, whether it's melancholy, whether it's joy. Electronic music could do a lot of things. But the fact that it's electronic music, and given that the movie is about AI and technology, it has to be electronic music, right? You know what I mean? Like, and this song right here, and I'm not the first person to say this on the internet, probably, and definitely not the first person to think it, but this song right here, the moment you hear it, it elicits an sort of alien, apocalyptic, Skynet level, Terminator level, like type of feeling. You know what I mean? Like where you listen to it and you're like, oh, I get it. It's all over. The machine has won. And lo and behold, that is what this scene shows, right? It shows machine taking over man, and it's like the song that would play if the Icarus moment happened in the future, in a Blade Runner, type of future. Like the moment that Icarus flies too close to the sun in a Blade Runner, type of world, in an Ex Machina type of world, that's the visual that I want to see. That's what I'm envisioning, just a moment of arrogance and ego from the human being. And then the machine takes over. Technology is taken over. It's the tables have tabled. The turns have tabled and turned. Whatever the hell the phrase is, you know what I'm trying to say. This song is just absolutely incredible. It is so full. Listening to even the actual song, and maybe I'll just look it up here. I already know the goddamn song. Yes. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you know what else it reminds me of? It reminds me of the chord progression to Heart-Shaped Box. It has a little bit of the melody. It's maybe it's slightly different, obviously, but it does remind me a little bit of that, which is very interesting. Going back to the scene here, the moment that he gets stabbed by the first android. And right now the music is, again, it's not really there. And then it comes in. It never fails, man. I feel it even now. And then it gets even better. Oh, and just these occasional flourishes. Love it. And then just, oh God. Oh my God, and then it's so beautiful. It's like a ballet. It's just perfect. Like, this is a movie, you know what I mean? Like, we know it's a movie. It's not very realistic in the sense where, like, you know, it's very dramatic, you know what I mean? Not only dramatic, like when we see her running to him, let me see, in the beginning of the scene here, she's running to him.
Stop.
He has a
Ava, I said
goddamn
stop.
weapon. He has a goddamn weapon. He could just hit her with it. But, you know, maybe, you know, she's an android. She moves a little faster than him. Who knows? But it's, you know, like, he could have hit her. He could have hit her with it, but maybe she was a little too fat. Whatever, right? But suspension of disbelief. It's a movie, right? She takes over him, and then he takes over her. He finally, it's a little more realistic here. He hits her hand, and then there's a lot of staring, you know? There's a lot of staring, and there's a lot of dramatization here, you know? Like the slowly turning back and just like, but it's realistic in the sense of, like, in a way too, because I mean, yeah, this person was on his side forever, for years. And she has turned on him, you know? So yeah, obviously he would be in shock, but it still is obviously dramatic. You know, in real life, things would probably not play this cinematically, right? And that's what I love about movies, is the best movies are the ones that embrace the fact that they're a goddamn movie, because movies are very much like real life, but it's also where you get to play and you get to have fun and you get to make things artistic, right? That's what we go to movies for escapism, to see the world in the way in which we would like to see it, you know? And to have this beauty and this elegance in a movie about AI and such existential topics is so gorgeous and just phenomenal. And then, you know, the other robot comes in, even just the way that she, you know, her head, like, just kind of, it's like a dance, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking, it's robotically beautiful. And the staring, the grabbing of, like, how she grabs his head, and then you could tell, like, there's a certain beauty to the robot here, you know, and the way that she caresses him, her creator, you know, like, in a way she has a little bit of, like, it's like anger, but like love, maybe? I don't know. And then he just fucking, it's the human arrogance right there, the ego, just boom. And the robot's right behind him, just completely showing the dominance. And they just, it's almost like they have no emotion almost, but they do, you know, and you're just staring. It's a complete, like, dance of AI and consciousness and human consciousness, and that just almost like the creation of something completely new, you know? We think of robots as having no emotion, you know, these androids having no consciousness, having, you know, no real humanity in them, and yet here we are seeing them do acts that a human being would be traumatized by or would have difficulty doing, or not even then, some people don't have difficulty doing it, but robots are doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, and that right there makes us feel gross, you know, weird, you know, it's disturbing, you know what I mean? And Oscar Isaac's acting here does a great job. I mean, that's sort of what he's, you know, expressing here. It's he's us, you know? And even though he's the villain of the film, and it's just this clash of human emotion with the robot developing emotion, right? It's truly is the creation, you know, the beginning, you know, like the big bang, you know, of an android's life, you know, of androids in general, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so goddamn amazing. And even then there's a little bit of humor, you know, with Oscar Isaac being like, okay, unreal. I love it. I'm telling you right here, this scene would not be as powerful without that song. It just wouldn't. It would not, you know, that song perfectly illustrates what this scene is trying to do. And I love the fact that it's loud, it's present. The director said, it's almost, I feel like he shot this scene knowing that that song was going to be a character in the scene. You know what I mean? I feel like that was the case. And if it wasn't, it's still amazing, of course. He still made the choice to be like, we got to put it loud and present. And it just elevates the scene to the nth degree, you know, because of it. And I just love it. I love it so much. I know it was intentional. I know that when he did it and everyone else that saw the scene were like, that's it. This works, you know? And I love that. Just the artistic, you know, feeling of like, this is the right thing to do. You know, like, this is what needs to be done. It feels amazing. It elicits, it gives the audience the feeling it needs to. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And other movies don't do this. They just don't. I don't know why, you know? But, yeah, no. The marriage of the visual medium and the auditory, auditory medium, whatever. It's amazing. Anyways, that's it for me. Those are my thoughts on this scene from Ex Machina. I want to know what you have to say in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Have you seen this film? What's another scene that you think you can't eliminate the music from? You know, or like it would just diminish the quality of that scene. Let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.